is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. It is Friday, August 7th. We have a 5-game NBA slate as this regular season is winding down. Man, yesterday was pretty tilting. Zach and I were talking last night, and if you watched his breakdown, he had so much right. And, me and him both made some crappy pivots throughout the day based on the news. I don't think anything was more tilting than the Boban news. I am not going to sit here and regret ever playing Boban. If you get 20 minutes from that guy, you potentially have, 35, 40 DK upside. But, if I would have sat and thought a little bit more and let the rationality side of me come out, that was never going to be a great matchup for him versus the Clippers, who can play small. You just never know with the Mavs. Again, you could have gotten 30 DK from Boban in even 18 minutes and have a 10x and be rolling. So whatever. I'll accept my mistake on that and hopefully make up for it today. Hope you guys have been doing well. It's been a fun, sprint into the end of the NBA season, and we're going to keep going. So I'm going to pull up the DK screen. We're going to start talking about some pricing and some top plays to focus on. This is not going to be that long of a video. I promise to be 20 minutes or less. If nothing else, because my kid will start screaming here if I'm not out in 20 minutes. All right. First game on the slate is Oklahoma City and Memphis. And there's going to be a lot of ownership here. For some reason, DraftKings continues to not price the OKC pieces high enough. So I think that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been chalked for 2 straight slates. He only got a $100 increase over last slate after being, I think it was 60% in cash. So expect huge, huge chalk on him, and for good reason. This is going to be a pace up. This is a 223 total. Okay, he's only favored by 4.5, so the bookies think it'll stay close throughout. Gilgeous-Alexander now has in the bubble 36, 33, and 36. So he's close to right around a 5x floor. I do like that he's still looking for a shot as well. So he's averaging 12 shots a game during that time. Shooting the ball crappy. So, if all of a sudden he can break out of the shooting slump, you very well could get 40 to 50 in play for him. And I think, that's going to be continuously why optimizers are loving him, why the public is going to be on him. It's just the fact that we can continue to see, huge upside from him. So I think that'll be one of the building blocks people are going to look for. Also on the Oklahoma City side, Gallinari should be popular. Here's what I'll just say about Gallinari, why I don't necessarily know that I'm going to flock to him. There's still some, they haven't come out and necessarily said there's a minutes limit on him, but they are definitely watching his minutes. That 29 versus Denver was in overtime. We had 19 in the first game, and then 25 versus the Lakers. Now, here's the thing. At 5,600, it doesn't take that much to get to a 6X. He still took 13 shots in that 25 minutes versus LA, 14 shots versus Denver. So if he's nailing, before he even subs first, you got to have Gallinari at 14, 15 DK. I just think that there potentially being a minutes limit limits its upside, and it's going to be something I think I probably will not chase. The other plays for Oklahoma City, obviously Chris Paul, but 8,100, I think I can go do better. Steven Adams, I think is fine at 6,100, but again, that's an upside play. I don't necessarily know how much is there. And then that whole Dort Diallo thing, that's last man in type of stuff, and that's not building blocks. So that building blocks is what we're talking about here. Ja Morant obviously is the top play for Memphis. He's coming off of 44 DK versus Utah, which honestly, I thought was going to be more. I can't remember. I think he had 28 or 29 and a half. But his usage and his workload are through the roof. He's finally getting minutes, so I think you can definitely go to him just at 8,500. I'm going to be on De'Aaron Fox, which I'm going to go over here in a minute. And I don't think that Morant's going to fit the bills, but Fox should be pretty chalky too. So if you want a huge upside pivot and huge leverage, Ja Morant would be a way to go. Valanciunas 7,300 is fine. The big thing is Brandon Clark. What are we going to do with Mr. Clark? He continuously struggles when he starts. The minutes with Jaren Jackson Jr., I think we all thought would shoot up here. He only played 27 versus Utah in a close game, 19 DK. We're all still staring at that Portland game where he got extra run. They benched Joval, and he was able to play a lot of center. I do not think he can do that versus Adams. So I think there's a good chance that what we're looking for is back to, maybe 25-30, which is fadeable. Here's the thing. I'm probably going to be one of many talking up that Brandon Clark is not a must play after we were all like drooling last time to play him. So that probably means he's going to do 40, right? So if you're like a smart GPP player doing a lot of darts, you probably should work in some Brandon Clark. But as of now, I just think matchup-wise, us knowing that he's going to play the 4, knowing that there's going to be a lot of Ja and Joval pick and rolls, and Clark really not getting involved like we want him to, that it probably makes a lot of sense for the fade. Just other notes on OKC. I'm sorry, on Memphis. Brooks, Grayson Allen, Kyle Anderson, all these guys are in play, just not going to be like people I want to highlight or build around. Sacramento versus Brooklyn. This is one of the juicy ones. Let us pray that Brooklyn can play a good game, because if so, there's going to be multiple guys we want to talk about here. I want to start on the Sacramento side and just talk about De'Aaron Fox and like what the F DraftKings is doing with the price on De'Aaron Fox. So he has come into the bubble and just been like alpha Dame Lillard, like Russ Westbrook type of usage. So first game versus San Antonio, 33 shots. Let's skip over Orlando, where they just kind of got buzzsawed by my magic. Dallas, 27 shots. And New Orleans, 21 shots in those games, 57, 49, 54. Yet we sit here at 7,600 versus the Nets. Like, just a lock button for me. I love Fox, love how he's looking. This is like the De'Aaron Fox that we've all wanted to see. And my goodness, do we have it. So 7,600, I think, is just an absolute steal. So I'm going to lock him in. Bojan Bogdanovic, and if I just not say the first name right, if he's one of the soaring Bogdanoviches, but he's actually my favorite of the Bogdanoviches. He was awesome versus New Orleans. Honestly, I can't remember, but I think he hit like his first like 5 or 6 shots, was just unconscious in the first quarter, took 20 shots, 37 minutes, 49 DK. These minutes have been up in the bubble. He struggled like hell versus Dallas, 1 for 15, but he just kept on shooting. Love to see it. 5,100. I think it's just an awesome like route. I don't know how many times I said awesome already. I think it's probably like 20, but awesome describes Bogdanovic. His price, 5,100, shooting guard and small forward eligible. I'm going to be trying to find his way into my lineups too. Those are by far my top 2 plays from the Sacramento side of things. I think Bjelica makes a lot of sense. Holmes makes a lot of sense. Both those prices are nice. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be building blocks for me yet, but guys, I definitely want to mention that you can go to Harrison Barnes. Just like, I'm out. I've done this too much. I don't even like want to do him service by pulling him up, yet I am. He took 18 shots versus New Orleans. It's just, he's just so scoring dependent at this point. Like, you always think that he's going to do more. You see 7 rebounds, you go, okay. But, he took 5 damn shots versus San Antonio, 8 shots, 6. He broke out versus New Orleans, but I think I'm out. Just find the extra 400, give me Bogdanovic, and let's roll. Now, on the Brooklyn side of things, I think Chris LeVert is going to be very popular. And really, guys, what we found out with Chris LeVert, it really just matters if like Brooklyn can make this a game versus Washington, who's sensational, 25 shots, 39 minutes, 48 DK. And that was the Chris LeVert that we were all thinking we would get in this bubble with no Nets like reinforcements. But Boston was just an absolute blowout. He played like a tad bit of the fourth quarter, but only 26. And in Orlando, the game got close at the end, but was blown out in the fourth quarter, so he was sitting. So it's all going to be a minutes thing. 7,100 is just such a sexy tag. I don't think that I'll be fading in cash. I think I'm going to be in LeVert. I've already checked a few projection systems that have him through the roof based on value because of that price. So yeah, like I think that's like one of those things that maybe in cash you play just as like, I hate like the conservative, like I want to cash block somebody and then GPP leverage, but maybe that's what you do here. Unless you're sold that this game is going to blow, if it's going to be like super tight throughout. Like if you say that this is going to be a close game, then I want LeVert because he's going to be the reason it stays close. And it's a 233 total. Brooklyn's only a 4-point dog, so the bookies think it's going to stay close. So especially with that in mind, maybe we do it. Jared Allen is very questionable for the game. It actually is like noted as a sprained ankle, which if it's a sprain, I can't imagine that he can turn around this quick and play. But if he's not in, God, Brooklyn is like so torn up. Probably be Curix, which at 3,900, like I'm a big Rashawn Holmes fan. Maybe actually that puts me on some more Rashawn Holmes shares at 4,900 because Curix is not like a natural center. But Curix can play when he gets minutes. We saw him get 22 DK versus Milwaukee, and at 3,900, I think he'd be one of the top values on the slate. If Allen is out and we can project Curix for 30 DK. You also maybe would see like the likes of Hall and Thomas and Musa get more minutes, but like I guess Musa at 3K is of interest to just be like a low owned dart. But you know, the net target we want to do is Chris LeVert, maybe Curix or bust. All right, Orlando versus Philly. Philly is minus 4.5 favorite. This is the second lowest total on the slate. It's not at 220, it's at 219. So I'll just mention, I'm going to go on my Magic side because I'm a Magic fan. So Vucevic has a habit of showing up huge versus the Sixers. Let me just quickly go over to just kind of show you what I'm talking about with it. But and his price is kind of sweet at 7,800. I don't think he'll be owned at all because people are going to see the matchup versus Embiid and just go like, I can't play Vucevic. But I'm here to tell you that you can. What I'm not here to tell you is that you necessarily should, because I just think there's other routes you can go with the salary. We've already talked about a few of them, but here's like the last couple versus the Sixers for Vucevic. So he had 16, 12, and 7 the last game. 2 games before that, and this is just versus the Sixers, okay? 25, 12, and 2. We can go back to last season, 28, 11, and 4. I'll just give you one more sample just to show you that the revenge narrative on him is real. And then 12 and 12, which was one of the worst games. But keep in mind, Vucevic did draft him. He was part of the whole Dwight Howard. God, who's the center? Andrew Bynum went to Philly. Probably what a few of our Philly fans don't want to think about that part of the Philly trade. But, yeah, I think he's a fine play. Probably the Magic guy to target, especially if Aaron Gordon is out. More of that usage will go towards Vucevic. Trying to think if there's anybody else. You know, I'm not a Magic are my team. I don't necessarily love to play any of them. They can just slow the game down. So I don't think I'm going to have much up Orlando, especially with this Washington-New Orleans game having so much juice coming up. But, you know, if you want to take a shot on Fournier, you know, Augustine, I'm trying to think of even who maybe would start if we don't have Gordon. Just give me a second to even figure out who we're playing right now, because it would always have been like a Minu or Isaac. But, you know, could we see some Gary Clark? Yeah, I mean, he was the guy that checked in once the Magic are out. So, you know, 3K for Gary Clark. I guess you could go there if you need the salary. On the Philly side of things, no Ben Simmons. So we're probably going to see Alex Burks get a lot more minutes. Jay Rich get more like point guard and on the ball run, along with Shake Milton. The thing is, they did already price those guys up. So Shake Milton 5,800. I don't see it. The Magic just are a good defensive team. They're really going to try to slow the game down, knowing that they're undermanned. So I just don't think that we need to like load up on Philly by any means here. Just looking at the pricing, you know, Tobias Harris is a revenge game versus the Magic, but at 8,300, he's going to get a usage increase with no Simmons, but, you know, he's kind of already priced up with that usage increase. So, you know, how much you want to do him versus some of these New Orleans and Washington pieces, that's up to you. But top play obviously is Embiid. He should have no problem getting close to 50 again. It's just, you know, at 10.5, you really want even more ceiling than that. All right, let's go to Washington, New Orleans, which could easily be one of the DFS gold games of the days if Washington can keep it close. It's a 233.5 total. New Orleans is minus 6.5. We really want to watch Zion minutes. It's a back-to-back, so I doubt that he can play much. He only played 22 versus Sacramento, which is a piss. I had him in a lot of showdowns just thinking that at 25 versus Memphis was a sign that he's going up. Does feel like that is kind of a hard limit. So at 8K, I do not think we need him. But, you know, we may want to go ahead and jump all over the Ingram price at 8,400. He's struggled in the bubble, but he's not struggling for the lack of shots. 14, 16, 11, and 20 shots. This is going to be a huge pace increase. I love taking Brandon Ingram and pace. It just fits more of his style. So at 8,400, I think that's a very, very fair price. I'd much prefer him to Tobias Harris at only 100 cheaper. in the matchup. Drew Holiday, God, I was really hoping like he's going to be like 7,900. So I was really pissed to open the slate and see him at 9,300. I don't think we go there, but man, if you want a low and play that could pop off for 50, he is in there. Lonzo Ball, 7,400, I think is fair. It sucks that DraftKings priced up the New Orleans pieces so much here, given how good the matchup was. But I guess, that's what they're supposed to do to make us not all just have like insane chalk on the New Orleans pieces. Derek Favors, I just did want to point out, is a really intriguing play if he were ever to get minutes. 22, 28, 21, 28, like 5,200. I want to click him, but like as I'm even saying it out loud, playing like Rashawn Holmes at 4,900, especially if there's no Jared Allen for the Nets, that probably makes a lot more sense. All right, let's jump over. And then, if you want like some value plays, Josh Hart has actually been playing well the last few, 23 and 25 minutes, the last two, 20 and 24 DK. If they can play small, he could maybe pop off. JJ Redick, 4,100 has been good all bubble as well. 23, 20, 23, 23, and 30 in 3 of the 4 games at 4,100 is a great value. So the Washington side of things might be how we want to attack this game. Thomas Bryant has been a man among boys versus the opposing centers. He now 47, 43, and 59 the last 3 games. At 47 versus Embiid, which is damn impressive. So I think he could really take advantage of Favors here, who's by no means the same center as that. 43 versus Miles Turner, and then 60 versus Brooklyn. 7,200, maybe that scares off some people, but I think that, God, if they can stay close, you could be looking at 50 again, which, that's 8-9x. Troy Bond Jr. should be pretty damn popular at 5,500. He's playing a lot of on-ball. His assist total is 8, 8, and 4 the last 3, and then rebounding the ball too. So he's a real threat for a triple-double at 5,500, and just playing big minutes, 36, 31, 38 in the last 3. The guards for Washington, I'm just kind of, at this point, staying away from. Like Ish Smith and Napier are in kind of, very, very much a timeshare with each other. Jerome Robinson would actually be the one I would love to just pivot off to the most. He's taking a ton of shots and potentially, an upside game. If he popped off for 40 here, I would not be shocked. But in the bubble, we have 25, 20, 28, 31, 4,900. I think that's very fair. He's even cheaper over on FanDuel if you want to just have a very low-owned point guard play. I think that pretty well does it. I guess Rui Hachimura is in play, but he's going to have some Zion duty, so I'll just pass. Boston-Toronto, final game on the slate. I'm not going to be crazy about this game at all. Kemba Walker is back, which is going to take away a decent amount of value from the Boston players. I think Tatum, Hayward, Brown, Walker are all in play. I want to see if we can maybe get some Walker news early. Like if he's ticked up to 30 minutes at 6K, that would be the way I'd want to go. He's too good for 6K. And then we saw the last game he played was actually up to 27 minutes. Only took 9 shots, but again, I think that they're trying to get prepped for the postseason. And if we could see 30 minutes from him at 6K, that makes a lot of sense. Jason Tatum, I would just say it's just a complete GPP pivot. He was a chalk burn versus the Nets. Got in foul trouble early, and then it blew out late before he could get going. It's just like totally a DFS like leverage type of play to go back to him here. I hate the matchup. I don't like anything about it, but it's just kind of like you see how DFS works for the longest time. And so if he popped off for 50 here, I wouldn't be shocked. I just think with 8K, there's enough other spots that you can do some damage with. On the Toronto side of the ball, there's expensive guys. Van Fleet, 7,700. Siakam, 8,200. That kind of feels fair, but he just hasn't been like giving you the upside in the bubble you need. 39, 37, 23. For 8K, that's not going to cut it. Then Lowry, 8,700. No, I just can't do it. Marcus Saul at 4,000. I think that may be the most likely route if you wanted a late game hammer. This is definitely a matchup he can take advantage of for Stice. 24 versus the Magic, do that. That's 6X, and that'll definitely do. All right, guys, good luck. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I didn't already say it, but if for some reason you're still around, subscribe at the bottom right. We'd really appreciate it. Guys, good luck today. Take care. Bye.